Okay, so this is dev vlog number 0 of the Shineponics project. Right, so this is what this is going to look like. This is how this is going to go. I'm going to film videos on this little webcam, this cute little 720p webcam, and attempt to make my room vaguely recordable because look at how bright it is outside. Okay, let's cover that back up. And the point is that I am building a web platform that I can use to manage my own plant systems because I have a personal goal that I would like to be able to grow not all of my own food, but the produce that I cook. If I could grow my own potatoes, tomatoes, peppers, beans, corn, pumpkins, all of that stuff, that would be great. That's obviously quite a lofty goal. This is a money-saving experiment. This is also a technological challenge. Can I do this? I have limited amount of space in my flat. I'm not going to attempt to grow all of these things straight away. I am going to start small, and what small looks like is my balcony. So let me tell you what I do have. What I do have is working hardware that looks sort of like this. Ta-da! This is a very basic setup with a light detecting resistor, an LED, and some logic on this board here, which can read values from the resistor, send those values in an encrypted web connection. The encryption part is special there. That took me a long time to figure out, but we got there. It can send the data from the LDR in an encrypted HTTPS request to my own web server. My web server can then make a decision on whether the thing should turn on or off, and then send that information back to the board. The board can change the LED on or off, and that's cool. So I've got the fundamentals of that working. The first requirement is that I need to design what my balcony can do as a farm. We're in the middle of summer right now. It's the 5th of June. Oh, it's the 5th of June. It's my friend's birthday. That's well remembered. And yes, so chaotic mind. So it's the middle of summer. That means I can design my balcony to be a farm, and obviously I want to get stuff going there quickly. I've already got tomato plants and some rocket out there, but there's more stuff to do, and I need to set up some automatic watering thing, which means I need soil moisture sensors out there, and I need a watering system out there. I then need to connect these systems to the internet, and then I need to build my visual interface that I can log into online that will allow me to see these systems on my balcony working, monitor what's going on with them, maybe activate the water system manually, this kind of stuff. So that is step 1. Now Apple's WWDC event is about to begin, so I'm going to go downstairs and watch that because AR headset madness is supposed to be happening. The next clip that you see should be probably not today, the 5th of June, but some other day. Today is a Monday, so hence I'm trying to get this ball rolling. But the next clip you see should be probably me designing what the system on my balcony is going to look like and talking about the various hardware that's going to be involved in that. So cut to that. Future Seb. Hello, it is me. The next day, WWDC was cool, and I have got a design. So you can probably see on the screen somewhere now a mock-up view of my balcony. You will see the real balcony probably very shortly in this video, but right now please divert your attention to this beautiful mini little diagram. Now you can see here I have a pallet on the left of my balcony. Why do I have a pallet? That's a good question, but there is a pallet there. It's going to serve an interesting purpose because it can help support the water jug. And why is there a water jug? Because the balcony needs water to water the plants, as I was saying yesterday. So this water jug is going to collect water, and we can see that there is a watering hose coming from the jug that runs into both planter A and planter B that are on the kind of foremost edge of the balcony there. And then there's a little plant waste basket bin in the middle, and then there's a little compost box which I just included to be accurate. You will see those for real soon. Now, what's interesting is if you look above the water jug, and in that top left corner between planter A and the pallet, you see a box, and this box is going to house the electronics for this system. So there's a solar charger which I have ordered off of Amazon. It cost about £35 I think on discount, so it's kind of expensive, but we're going to see how it works. The solar charger basically is a solar cell with a battery pack built into the box and USB ports. So that's going to be the power supply of the whole thing. It should hopefully charge the battery from solar, and then I can use that power that's stored in the battery bank to charge the electronics that power the system. So the electronics that power the system will be a couple of microcontrollers. We will have a microcontroller with a solenoid attached to it, and that will be used to push the lever of the water jug to let water go into the hose. And the water jug will be raised. I haven't got a 2D diagram, I haven't got a cross-sectional diagram or from another perspective, but the water jug will be at a level higher than the planters. So when the solenoid activates and pushes the water jug open, that will let water run down into the hose. Water pressure will then build in the hose will be plugged at the far end, and you can see in the diagram there I've said that the watering hose is perforated. So on planters A and B there will be little holes in the hose. The water will then come out of those holes into the planters. And then you can see, as well as that box containing the solar charger and the controllers and the solenoid, there's another little circle on planter A. You know, the position of this might change, but that circle on planter A is another microcontroller that measures soil moisture, light, and temperature. Now the reason for this is, what is the reason for this? The reason for this is that we want to be able to, okay, so I got to backtrack a second here. The simple way to make this happen would be to simply have some sort of schedule that activates the solenoid and waters the plants. But I'm aiming for something a little bit more advanced than that. What I want is system state, and I want the system to make decisions based on the state. What's the state of the system? Well, it's whatever you want it to be. The state of this system is going to be the time of day, light levels, temperature levels, and soil moisture. So what I can do is with the soil moisture sensor, I can feed that information from the little sensor there in planter A into the cloud where I will be managing this thing, and there's a lot to unpack and figure out there. And then the system will make a decision, should it open the water valve. There's no point opening the water valve in the middle of the day when it's hot and sunny, because most of the water will have just evaporate out of the soil. And so unless the soil becomes really dry, we won't do that. We will wait until the evening. And so as you can see, there are a few things that come into play here in the system state that determine what needs to happen. So there's quite a lot of complex stuff to make. This is the design for the physical space. I've got all of the parts on the way. We should be able to start assembling this for real next week. Alright everyone, hey, so I've got some updates. It is Sunday now, the end of the week, so the last two videos that you saw were Monday and Tuesday. I've got a few things to talk about, but before we do that, because Shineponics is all about plants, here I have some plants. This is an orchid right here that is actually ready to be propagated. You can see it's got a stem. It's got more leaves at the top of this stalk, I think is the correct word. So I figured, you know, it might be fun, because Shineponics is all about plants, to just do something cool to do with plants in this devlog. Why not? I've been meaning to propagate this orchid for a while, and this guy needs to be repotted from this little pot into this big pot. So I'm going to do this on my desk, but you know, that's fine. I can clean. Orchids. Isn't that cool? Alright, so I'm going to go and clean those orchids up in a moment, and obviously the spider plant as well. Set those off to the side. Just want to show you guys something kind of cool. So here is the relay board that, if you can make that out, actually does have Shineponics 3D printed into it, which is very cool. And you can see a nice relay board in there. There you go. So each of these blue modules is basically an on-off switch that allows current to go through it. So you can use this to turn on and off various bits of electronics. So just reconnect the pins there and refit the housing, and okay, that's that put back together. Now in this box I have the solar powered USB power bank that I was talking about, that will be used for the initial kind of testing of the system. And in here I have this is just a USB hub that I will plug into this. So let's do that. We plug that in there. Okay, and you can see this is one of the ESP boards that I'm using, and the blue light is flashing on and off every second. That's because the blue light corresponds to the first digital output pin, which is D1, which corresponds to pin 4. So white for power in means white is going into the 5 volt. Black for ground means black is going into the grounding pin. There we go, that's those two. And then the grey is going into the first digital pin. So there's some code on this board that I've flashed that's set to operate that digital pin. And if I plug this in now, you can probably hear that click. That click, if I can get this to go down, slot into place for me. There we go. So that click is the first relay channel here turning on and off every second, and this whole thing is being powered by the USB solar power bank here. So this is showing control of this, and this board is an IoT board. There's a Wi-Fi chip on here, so this is going to connect to the Shineponics system, be powered by this solar powered bank, and when we send state information up to the system through various sensors, like what is in this bag, we can receive a state action to turn something on or off, which we can do through this relay. So it's all coming together. And then just to show you the sensor, here it is. You might notice that there is indeed a typo on the 3D printing of this one, but you know, hey ho, it's a mock-up. And this, as you can see, is lots of wiring. There's another one of these little ESP boards inside of here, and then we have a soil moisture sensor here, so we will be putting that into the system to read data, and we'll also use the time of day as state in the cloud for this model, and these will all become part of my balcony system. So let's turn that off. Let's just unplug all of this stuff for now, but very exciting to see the hardware bits coming together. Oh, Finn on the, there he is, on the snowboard in the background. So the only other thing that I would like to talk about is the brainstorming session I had on Wednesday afternoon, which I will show a screenshot of somewhere now. That brainstorming session was great. I was talking to a CodeWorks graduate and a friend named Ali. He helped me think through the product and slimline down the initial version of the UI to actually just a simple collapsible list of nodes in a tree. So I think that's what we'll be aiming for first. And you can see in this screenshot there's lots of diagrams we were thinking through about how to flow state around things, and it was great. It was really good practice to help me think through things properly. It's always good, you know, to do that just from the beginning, explain it all, think through the whole system. Most of you watching this video, if anyone is watching this video, will probably think, I still have no idea what you're talking about, and that is fair enough because it's not going to mean anything until you see it in action. Shit, I forgot to get hose pipe. I knew I was going to forget to get the hose pipe. Well, we can go pretty far without the hose pipe, to be honest. This week, I should be able to start doing some really cool stuff. I just need to put the code for this back into existence because I lost it. Hook up all of those electronics that you just saw, get them communicating with the cloud, and then we can start actually managing the state in the cloud. And then we can start thinking about how do we structure that state management in the cloud? Can we create a UI to visualize what's going on? All that kind of stuff. So exciting times. Anyway, this is the end of Shineponics Devlog 0. Thank you for watching. It's been great to kick this off. I think the vlogs are a good idea. So I will see you next week. Bye, Internet.